Alright, what's up everybody? This is Fear the Dark Wolf. We're going to talk about some Watchers of Realm today. We're going to go over some basics, right? Just some basic things, nothing crazy, just kind of letting you know when things happen so that you have an idea how to progress, right? You don't really need to worry about your level too much. It's more about where you are in campaign, okay? So as you see, there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. There's so much to see, all these different things, right? But we are gonna talk about them right now. Gonna be like a intro to Watchers of Realms, okay? There's a lot of people who may or may not know when things happen in this game. They may focus too much on what their level is. They may worry about when they need to be getting gear or whatever. We're gonna go over just the basics, and we're not gonna get too deep into anything. But it's just what you need to know is that your level doesn't necessarily matter. It's not what you need to worry about for a long time. And mostly everything in this game unlocks based on your campaign progress. Okay, so when you start the game, it kind of forces you to do stuff. You don't really have much leeway. It won't let you click certain things. Certain things won't even be on the screen. They won't appear until you get to a certain point. Okay, that makes the game kind of interesting. So the first thing, let's look at campaign, right? I'm a pretty far through it, but we're gonna go to the beginning and we'll start in chapter 1. Okay, so chapter 1, I think it's like the first 2 or 3 chapters it makes you do. You can't not do them. After that, then you start to get some flexibility, right? But basic things like summons, right? Summoning, so you come in here, you get to spend your little sigil or your diamonds, right, to summon a hero. This doesn't unlock until you have completed N19 in the chapter, right, in the campaign. So you can't even summon until then, right? Which, you know, it's not that far into the game. It's really early. So they kind of want you to get through your first chapter before they unlock summons. So, but that doesn't mean you don't get anybody, right? You get some free characters in the beginning of the game that are going to run you a pretty good ways through, right? A lot of them are pretty decent until you start getting some really higher tier people, but they're still useful for a long time. Now, something you may want to know is that you can change your name, right? Because it gives you a blank ID, and it's just numbers, right? And so a lot of people like to customize their name. Now, if you are playing on a mobile device or on BlueStacks on your computer, you actually get a free rename reward that happens when you get to normal second chapter level 1. I don't remember if you have to beat it or if you just have to get there, but you'll get a reward that'll come in here, and see how it says X1? That means you can change your name 1 time for free. And otherwise, if you aren't on and you're just playing on the computer, you'll go in there, but it'll bring you to the shop, and go to diamond shop, and it's 20 diamonds for a rename scroll. That's how you are able to change your name. Now, you don't need to change your name, but you know, I'm pretty sure it's a quest. I can't see the old quests anymore because after you get a certain way through, they disappear. But I'm pretty sure renaming your character and changing your avatar are all little quests. Another thing to note is in your quests and challenges, you get these free diamonds. So you get 200 free diamonds for following Watchers of Realms. You get 50 for Reddit, 50 for Discord, 50 for YouTube, 50 for Facebook. Now, if you really want to follow them, great. Go do that. You don't actually have to follow them. You just have to click on it and open it, and it'll bring you to it, and then you can come back. You don't actually have to follow. But if you are enjoying the game, I don't see a reason not to do that. All right, so the next thing that you're going to start to get into when you're looking at your characters, we'll look at some low tier characters, and we're not going to talk about any big ones, but you have attributes, promotions, gear you can put on them. They have skills. These level ones, their skills are maxed automatically. You don't actually do anything for them. And then awakenings is a later thing. Early characters you can't awaken anyways. It's mostly purples. There are a couple of blues you can awaken, but it's mostly purple and above. And then artifacts, you're not going to get to artifacts till a lot later in the game, but artifacts are a thing that help with attributes. Now, in attributes you have upgrade, and at first when you're upgrading, you only get this single thing. You don't get the max level thing, and we'll talk about that. But promotions is the important thing. That's when the star will go from gold to like a purple color. Let's show you one. We'll just go up here. See how these are purple? That means that they've been promoted. Each individual star has been a promotion. And the star corresponds to what star level. So the first star is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, etc. Each star, you can only go 10 stages. So you'll upgrade to 10, and then you'll need to star them up to go to 20, and then you'll start at 10 and go to 20. You don't start over at 1, which is nice. You don't have to reset, as it were. So promotion raids, they are in here, and these are the different kinds. You got marksmen, mages, endurance, which is defender and healers mostly, and melee, which is for your fighters. Now, this window doesn't unlock until you have completed normal 2, stage 2, right? So we'll go back to normal, chapter 2, stage 2. After completing this, then it unlocks. And as you're building your team, right? We'll just clear this out because we're not worried about that right now. So you will start to unlock slots as you progress. I don't remember what stages you need to get to for each slot, but just know that as you progress, more slots will open. So if you're looking at it and you only have 4 slots and you want the 5th slot, you click on it and it'll tell you what one you need to complete for that slot to unlock. So you just select your characters and they drop in, right? And you can reorder them in there if you want. Reordering doesn't really matter until you get to your lords. Now, lords have these crowns, right? They have crowns above their class, or not class, but faction. And each lord has different effects, right? So this lord, it'll pop in and it'll light up, and you click it and it'll tell you that using this lord, this one, the Lunaria specifically, will give faction allies basic attributes 10%, and it'll increase their attack range for anyone that is part of that class, right? And when you click them, the ones that are part of the class will get these little arrows signifying to you that, okay, this is part of that class, in case you don't pay attention to the insignia. Now, if you have two from the same class, because there are different level lords, right? So this is a rare lord, but where's Ein? Are you trying to find him? Too many characters. There's Ein. So he is also a lord of the same faction, but he is a rare lord. I mean, epic lord. So the rare lord gives you 5% and 10 and 20 seconds for multipliers. This lord is a better lord, so he gets 10%, 20, 20, right? So when you drop him in, he's automatically going to take his place. Okay, so you don't really need to worry about that, but you can switch them. I don't know why you would want to, but you can. And then the background will change pretty much the color of the lord. See how this is bluish, right? You put him in and it's purplish, etc. I don't have any legendary lords, but I'm assuming it'll turn also the same color as a legendary. Now, the next thing that unlocks, these three things unlock at the same time. They all unlock at level 2, 7. Okay, so to unlock the lords is here, level 2, 7. It'll be after your first experience raid. So your first experience raid will unlock at N5, N2, 5, right? So then you'll be able to get experience to level up your heroes. At N27, once you finish that, you'll get access to the Lord slot, the storyline, and the Dwarves Association. Okay. What is all that? Okay, so I just showed you the Lord slot. This is the Dwarven Association. It's basically the shop in the game. You can come in here and you can purchase things. These at the top, those unlock as you progress in the game, so you'll only have the black market. You won't have Guild Shop, Arena, or Awakening for a while. So just focus on the black market. In here, basically, it lets you get gear before you are able to do gear raids. And gear is important. Gear helps your attributes. We're not going to go over what gear you should be using yet. That's a whole different thing. This is just what unlocks and when. Now in here, you can purchase these fodder, right? They're food. You're eventually going to level them up and sacrifice them to level up your good characters. But this gives you access to basically free-ish. It costs coins, but you're going to get coins. Don't spend all your coins on just randomly. Make sure you know what you're buying and why. Right? Like these 10 auto fights is 50,000. If you need auto fights, cool, but you don't really need to spend 50,000 on auto fights unless you really need them. Like if you're just trying to, you don't want to click. And the shop will upgrade as you upgrade. So starting out, you'll get a lot of blues for gear. As you go further, you'll get purples, you'll get golds. It's random. Like there's times when this is all gold for me. You'll get insignias. Early on, you can spend on them if you're really trying to push your account, but it's not really necessary. And like I said, the promotion raids unlock, so you can earn this stuff with your energy. But if you don't want to waste your energy and you want to spend some coins, some diamonds, it's not a bad idea. And then the storyline is right here, and that's to unlock this free hero, right? I have been kind of neglecting my storyline. I've been doing so many other things, but it's the hero's path will unlock, and you'll get these sub stories eventually too. But the hero's path is the you get her once you complete all of the hero's path. So you get her for free. It's a free legendary. No need to not aim for that. And also, if you don't know what to do, following this path, it gives you things to push towards, right? So for me, I'm at 15 and it says equip 5 pieces of 16 plus gear on a hero. Now for me right now, I'm not really worried about that because it costs a lot of gold for gear, and a lot of my are at 12, right? Because after 12, it starts to eat your gold. Like trying to get from 12 to 16 will cost you more gold than it will to level up like 3 of these to 12. You have to kind of be really careful, and it's not something I'm personally worried about right now. The next thing that will unlock is the Oracle's Trials, right? And Oracle's Trials is basically little mini battle things, right? So you're going against other people and it's points, right? So leveling up, starting up, promoting, you'll get points towards your trophies, and you know, you want to try to end up at 1, right? Everybody wants to be number 1. As you get further in the game, there'll be people who are, you know, way up there in trophies. It gets you 3,000 to finish. This person has finished it twice basically to try to retain that number 1 spot. Now, if that's something you want to work towards, feel free. And there will be these change. These are never always the same. Certain things pop up all the time, like hero training, artifact stuff. They're the same things, but they change all the time, which ones are open. And that will unlock once you finish normal 2, level 7. Now, normal 2, level 9. Now the gallery and artifact material raids, those both unlock after N2 12. Okay, what am I talking about? So the gallery is this, but inside the gallery there's collection progress for specific factions basically. So like I don't have any Chaos Dominion characters. I don't have any of them. Esoteria, no, Nightmare Council is my least, but Nightmare Council is very good. They're very strong. But after you unlock 4, right, you get the attack plus 50 on them, and then 8 will be the HP 200 and 12 would be the rage regen. And it stands true for all factions. Okay, so that little boost unlocks after N2 12, and then the artifact material raid is just in here. These are all the different kinds of raids that you'll eventually unlock. Artifact material raid is right here, and you start out at 1, and then it'll give you broken meteorites, which will allow you to create artifacts, and the mithril allows you to level up the artifacts. Now, doing this early, it's cool. It's not super necessary because you don't even get an artifact slot till way later. You can't even start to use them until the hard campaign, and you have to finish hard campaign level 2, stage 12. Hard campaign doesn't even open until like I can't remember if it's if you complete normal 7 or normal 8, but it's a long time before it's going to open, so it's not really something you need to worry about right now. But getting the meteorites as you can is good, because then you'll be able to create artifact, you'll be able to forge them later. Now, the next thing is the daily sign-ins, right? Daily sign-in event. That is this. You get free stuff as you play the game, right? That's basically what it is. That doesn't turn on until you have completed normal 3 level 1. So normal chapter 3, level 1. And this might sound like it's far in the game, but as you play, you'll blast through levels. It's not that far. Once you start to get up to like chapter 5, that's when the game starts to slow down a little bit, and things start to change. But for just starting, I mean, that really get to chapter 4 and do as much as you can through chapter 4. After chapter 4, when chapter 5 starts, that's kind of when the game evolves a little bit. So the guild is where you get access to the guild boss, right? You'll start on easy, and then after your guild will need to kill it to progress to the next one. We're currently at Nightmare 3, soon to be Nightmare 4. But you'll get dragon blood over here as you damage the dragon. And each chest will have a corresponding requirement of dragon blood that you need to earn in order to get that chest. And the damage, I believe, is 10,000 per 1 dragon blood. I can't remember if it's 10,000 or 100,000, but you get the idea. You gotta pour some damage into it to get dragon blood. And to join in a guild, you have to complete normal 3 stage 6. So normal 3 stage 6, chapter 3 stage 6 before you can even join a guild, right? That's all the way over here. And then you'll get another experience raid. And you know, as you're playing, you don't want to spend a ton of stamina on the experience raids until later, because the gap in experience for your energy is pretty big. Just to give you an example of that, we'll go to the resource raid, experience raid. Now for stage 1, you can only get 1,150 max, and it costs you 10 energy. Right? They all until the first 2 are 10. So just that alone, 1150, 1400. Then 15 experience is like an extra 1100 for 5 more energy. So you get the idea. You kind of want to get as far as you can, and then when you get to like 6 or 7, that's when you can really start to pour energy into it, to enhance your characters. But you don't want to do that without this, right? It's an experience bonus. So if you are doing experience raids, you definitely want to make sure you are using the experience bonus. To get one, it's in the diamond shop. It'll cost you 150 gems for 1 day, 100% bonus. So you'll basically double for free for 150 gems, right? It's for free because you're gonna do it anyways. But if you don't have that on, it's not a good idea to really push the experience raids, because you're just wasting your energy. And energy is finite. You'll start to build it up, but then there'll be times when you don't have any. So you want to try to manage that as best as you can. And that's really a good spot to kind of to leave the video right now. That's like beginner. Past that, you start to get into things like the Tide, and that's a whole nother thing in itself. The Pantheon, the idol rewards, they come early. I don't remember when they start, but they start pretty early, and it's just sitting in the game. Over time, you'll get these for free. So this is what I get because I'm further in the game, but pretty much this stuff is the same. This might be a little bit higher, I'm not sure, but this is different. You'll get lower ones, but the rest of it is pretty much the same for free, just for playing the game, being on it for however long. yeah, I think that's a good place to stop for right now. And there will be follow-up videos explaining further, but that's a pretty good area, a chunk for you to focus on. That's the first bunch of things that are really going to open to you. And, you know, enjoy the game, have fun with it. Don't stress too much about, oh, I can't do this yet, I can't do that. You will get there. Okay, don't worry about your level, right? There are people who are level 30s that can beat people who are level 50 because of how they focus things. Okay, don't worry about your level, just worry about going through the campaign. And a quick tip that I'm going to just leave in just for your own thought is, once you unlock hard, right, it doesn't necessarily mean it's hard, because there are normal levels, right? Like normal 9, it recommends almost 600,000 BP, right, to be able to beat it. Now if you go to hard 1, it's 48. So if you're stuck in normal and you have access to hard, start banging out some of the hard ones until you can't anymore, and you just kind of keep doing that back and forth, and then eventually expert will open and you do the same thing there. You push that as far as you can. But again, don't worry about all of that yet. Those will come in time. All right, this has been Dark Wolf. I hope you all have a great day, have a good time, enjoy the game, and be kind to each other. Peace.